The long-awaited Seasons 2.0 is here. With an entire new system, you'll need the right builds to conquer the most difficult content. I have just the one for you. What happens when you pair a new exotic weapon with an already OP gear set? A match made in heaven. The Strega Exotic Assault Rifle is a certified beast that allows you to solo any level of content with ease. With the ability to amass up to 75% amplified damage from this weapon alone, this build is a force to be reckoned with.
Finish you off in a second, baby. First of all, this FAL hits super hard, bro. Yeah, bro. Relax.
The purpose of this build is to provide the tools you need to accomplish whatever goal you like. With the brand new Season 2.0 system's master difficulty, you'll need all the tools you can get because the rewards that offers are amazing. Not only is this build a monster solo, but imagine an entire team using this setup. I honestly don't think it'll be fair. Now, let's not waste any more time and get into it.
Okay, I think this is the perfect time to stop. Obviously, you see that this build is certified. I could complete this legendary, no problem, if I play tactical and smart. But this is the first time I've made a build with Negotiator's Dilemma, which is the gear set I was telling you that you probably know what it is based on the insignia or the logo. But this is crazy how much damage this is dealing, and it synergizes perfectly with this weapon. The new exotic called the Strega, which translates to witch. You see that logo, right? And it has a talent called Unnerve. Killing an enemy will apply a mark on every enemy within 20 meters. Every enemy. That's why you saw them lit up. They all got the curse. Multiple marks can be applied to the same enemy. And the max number of marks that can be applied to the enemy is 5. So this means that if you kill 4 enemies, 5 marks are going to be applied to the next enemy. And this deals 15% amplified damage per mark, which means that it'll be up to 75%. And that's why some of them enemies were getting shredded, right? Now, I wasn't really paying attention as much because I was so excited. I didn't know that when this is paired with Negotiator's Dilemma, whether or not that damage for that 5th mark applies with Negotiator's Dilemma, because what this does is has a talent called Hostile Negotiations. Critical hits mark enemies for 20 seconds, up to 3 marks. And if I'm wearing a chest piece, this goes to 5 marks, but I'm not. I'll show you that in a second. Anyways, when you critically hit a marked enemy, all other marked enemies take 60% of the damage dealt. And if you have the backpack on, which I do, that goes from 60% to 112%. So not only are you dealing 100% of the damage you deal to your main target, but another 12% to the enemies that are marked around him. So I said, you know what, this backpack is a must-have. Usually when I'm using a Ninja Bike backpack, I have justifications for not using the said backpack for whatever gear set or brand set I'm using, but this right here is a must-use. Finally, whenever a marked enemy dies, gain plus 2% critical hit damage, stacking up to 20 times, or until combat ends. Let me just show you the stats right now to show you how much critical hit damage I have. I'm at 40% crit chance and 100 and 190% critical hit damage, pretty much. So this is going to be well over 200%. And if somebody's wearing a Coyote's mask on my team, this could be maxed out to 60%. So you're good here. And with ARs, you have a built-in health damage value, 21%, which is why those mini tanks and those robotic dogs were getting shredded, because all they have is health. They don't even have armor. And like I said, this is a really weapon-heavy build. So that's why I'm using the gunner specialization, which gives you extra ammo, so you almost never run out. But the way that this build is set up, you're dealing damage to so many enemies at one time, so you're spreading the ammo, which means you're conserving a lot more ammo. The secondary I'm using is this new name weapon called the Cricket. It's amazing. This talent is great too. Perfect precision strike, right? Killing enemies farther than 20 meters builds up stacks. The max is 2. So hitting an enemy within 20 meters after those stacks are built up uses or consumes that stack to provide 35% amplified damage. But they have to be within 20 meters. So the idea is to kill 1 or 2 enemies from a far distance, and whenever somebody gets close, you just shred them with that 70% amplified damage. I think that's what it is based on how many stacks it is. 35% amplified damage per stack. And can you imagine if the full team was wearing a Negotiator's Dilemma build on a legendary? I mean, everybody would just be destroyed. And here are the 2 high-end pieces of armor that I'm wearing. Of course, I gotta have Fenris because this gives me assault rifle damage. That's the main weapon that I'm using. And I have crit hit chance damage rolled here with a crit damage mod. For the Negotiator's Dilemma though, since you only have 1 attribute, make sure you roll that to crit damage. You can get enough crit chance without rolling any. But for the name pieces or for the high-end pieces, you want to have critical hit chance and damage. But for the gear set pieces, you want to have critical hit damage. And then you can put both on the high-end piece. And for the chest piece talent, I have Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds. So you can get up to 20% critical hit damage. But Obliterate is always going to be goated to me. Anyways, I already showed you the stats, but these are the skills that I'm using. And of course, these are really good. I have the EMP sticky bomb that just pretty much puts robotic dogs and those mini tanks down. By the way, the mini tanks are the ones that hit the hardest. And it gives you an opportunity to just shred them, especially if you've already marked a ton of enemies. You're going to spread the wealth. And you have the decoy. And this came in clutch because I didn't have any armor kits on that last purple healer, and I threw that out and was able to distract him enough to take him out. But yeah, that is the build. I mean, this is a pretty straightforward build. It's exponentially increases your DPS. And let me just quickly recap what this does and how it works, because this might be a little bit confusing. What you have to do is kill the first enemy to mark them, right? That mark then applies to the second enemy, so then they have 2 marks on them, which means they're taking 30% amplified damage because each mark deals 15% amplified damage. When you kill him, there's a 3rd mark on the 3rd enemy, then a 4th mark on the 4th enemy. So you want to make sure you take out the weaker enemies first and then unleash that 75% amplified damage on a chunga or a boss or something like that, which is what I was doing. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention. I was just trying to kill everybody I could, but I think this is the perfect synergy for a weapon like this. Let me know if you have any other ideas for any other good combinations for this, but I think this is the best, hands down. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the first of the 3 builds. I can't wait for you to see what else I have cooking in the lab, but let's just say they're really special. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for builds from DPS all the way to skill. I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.